Ubukulu bwa matako tebwingi bwa mafi. Tekwe batinga mwamona omuntu naina. Nakashika nokashikati ninshi wa mano. Bakinyizi malembe. Ba baby baba daddy. Ninshi padasi ya wanu wa miebele ati mubwesha ama powers. Mwabwekesesha kumona amano. Ile pilibura ati mwema Chinese ngaba mipokelera mu Zambia. Mwaichema mwaichefya ubupuba no obupumbu kuno tatutobera.
If you're a keen follower of events in Zambia, there's one social commentator who's been captivating the minds of many Zambians. I don't want to take the spotlight off him, and as such, I'll let him introduce himself.
My parents gave me the name Newton, Mainza Newton, but after I discovered my capabilities, I knew who I am and what I'm capable of doing. I named myself Mbototo, Amablax.
Who are you and what are you capable of doing?
I'm a living being. I was born a human being, a very innocent one, a very decent. But after seeing what is happening in society, after nothing on anything, I wasn't Newton anymore. I decided to name myself Mbototo because I know the meaning of Mbototo. And little do I know the meaning of what Newton means. I just know that he discovered the law of motion and stuff like that is from the western side, what. But I know what Mbototo means. It's the reason why I decided to change my name from Newton to Mbototo.
For those that don't know what Mbototo means, what does it mean?
What?
What does it mean? What does Mbototo mean?
Mbototo means a frog.
So you are a frog Newton?
No, I'm a frog.
And the Newton?
It's no longer, I no longer use that in the musical circle. Reason being that I don't know its origin, but I know the origin of Mbototo.
So why Mbototo, a frog then?
Mbototo is a frog. A frog is a creature that is versatile. It can survive on land, and it can even have a kingdom on land. It can even have start children on land without any difficulties. 40, when it gets into the water and it has no access to step on the land, it will still survive without any difficulties. It's versatile and it suits the environments, and that's the character that I've decided to depict so that I can survive.
Earlier, you spoke about you having to change your name because of what you came to see in society.
Yes.
What is it exactly that you came to see in society?
I've seen that a youth is most talked about, but in the actual sense, the youths are the most neglected. When the officials, I don't know what they call them, those big people up there, when they're going to demand for some funds, they mostly use the name of the youth. But after they receive those funds, the youths no longer have their shares. So,
don't you think the youth or the youths are so much reliant on the officials that go to look for this money? I mean, God gives people different talents and different capabilities. Why must the youths rely on the officials that go to look for the money?
There's what, I don't know, maybe for lack of a better term, it can be inheritance. Even wisdom, knowledge, and stuff like that has to be left with the coming generation from the elders. It has to be passed on to the coming generation. So now, if the youths are in their circles, there is no relationship between the current leaders and the youths, the upcoming leaders. If there's no that relationship, how will these people have that courage, and how will they know how to handle this earth when these so-called elders are gone? I can't quote exactly, but in the Bible somewhere it is written that whosoever dies in his youth age, stuff like that, pleased with that. So meaning, one has to grow up old and then die. So if before they die, they have to transfer the knowledge and the wisdom that they have and plant into the youths. So if the youths are neglected and they are alone, and those elders tend to die as the way the Lord has planned the life, how will the youth survive?
Going by your name, Mbototo, like you were explaining, you adapt to different scenarios or environments. So that shouldn't really worry you, should it?
It shouldn't worry me, and I'm not even worried. But what worries me the most are the offsprings, the Mbototo offsprings, because definitely at one point or the other, I'll have a wife and I'll start having children.
You've already got one, Twambo.
Yes, I already have one. So I'm fighting for the life of Twambo. Mine has already passed, because frankly speaking, I just feel like there's nothing that I can say that in short, Twambo can't negotiate these spiritual curves that I've encountered in life from my point of view. He can't. Life is just too difficult, such that if we don't fight for our children will not even reach at this age.
What is it exactly that you talk about?
What I talk about is a lot of things. So,
like?
It's all about life.
What aspect? Life is so general. What aspects of life?
There must be justice. And the youths have to be put into consideration. Because it's like, I'll pick an example. There are certain things that people don't understand. And in society, we've got the first class, the second class, and the third class. So what happens is that the news is created in the circle from the first class. Then it is passed into the second class. The time the news will be reaching the third class, it will be diluted. So I use my art and my act to make sure that the genuine news comes from the first class of society, and then it reaches the third class exactly the way it is. So I tend to like force myself. I can't say that I'm learned and stuff like that. I'm just a grade 12. But I force myself to understand the English that those people with high profiles use, so that I can propound, dismantle it, knock it out into the languages that even a layman can understand. Because we shouldn't sideline those people from the third class. When the campaigns start, the politicians go everywhere. So even when there's information which is vital that has to be disseminated to the citizens, I make sure that the third class listens to that and hear their views. Because every man's opinion counts.
What role do you think you as artists have got in terms of raising social activism? Because at the time that you are raising certain issues, there are certain musicians that actually agree with the powers that be.
Music. In the first place, the origin of music is just too deep. Very few people understand music. It's the reason why music is a blessing, but they misuse it, and it ends up to be like a curse.
So what role then do you have to play as artists in order for that music not to be a curse?
Is to disseminate the right information.
What is the right
to
information?
The right people at the right time. Because the tinjimbe olwimbo pa Christmas, pa independence, that doesn't make sense. What if kuri coronavirus, nsenjimbe olwimbo lwa love, doesn't make sense. I have to dance to the tune, kuimba pa the coronavirus. So na muri activism as a youth, I have to use my music to speak to the people. Reason being that I know that I've got, even if there are 1, 2, 3 people that believe in what I do, those people have got some other people that believe in them, meaning that it will keep on spreading slowly by slowly. It cannot be tomorrow, but I've got a vision that things have to change. Things are not moving right. I cannot explain properly, reason being that I'm using English, but I guess you are getting my point.
What role then do you think musicians have got to play in times of elections? More often than not, lately, we've been seeing musicians performing for politicians, and you are aligned based on who you perform for. Is that right?
That's not right. It isn't right. In capital letter is not right.
What doesn't make it right?
If you A musician, and then you decide to sing for a political party, and then you are given money, meaning that you will not be using your brains. You'll be like a robot that is being used by a remote control. You no longer express yourself. You no longer speak on behalf of your fans. Reason being that you are paid to speak what is written for you. So for those people who do that, definitely I think they don't think, because if they used to think, they cannot be told what to think about.
Many people know you as a musician. The first time that I personally saw you, you must have been dancing for a Nasty D, or you were supporting. I
wasn't dancing, we were singing.
Okay, you sang for Nasty D. And then later on, you formed or you're part of an outfit called Amablax.
Yes.
Mbototo, Amablax na axe, aka Babambo.
And then you've been on social media releasing videos talking about current happenings. Who exactly are you? Are you still a musician, or you're now a social commentator, or using music to talk about issues?
Music, I'll just hit the nail on its head on this one, and I know people will take it with different views, but frankly speaking, here in Zambia, there's no music, there's no money in music. We only use music as a vessel. Cause what?
A vessel for what?
That's where I'm going. What will determine how far you go in life in terms of success are the connections that you have. And not just mere connections, but proper connections.
What are proper connections? Political, business ones?
A political connection cannot be a good connection to a businessman. And to a businessman, a political, it's a two-way thing.
So what are those connections?
So the connections are in line with what you do. If you are connected to a person who understands and respects what you do, that qualifies to be called a proper connection. And that's what will determine how far you go in life in terms of success.
Do you have those connections yourself?
Definitely. It's the reason why you are sitting here and I'm chatting with you until my connection.
Well, I don't know about that. What is the relationship between what you talk about and your shades, for instance? I asked you politely to remove the shades, but you refused.
I can't.
Why not?
Because there are certain things, and at certain times you have to understand some people. And my understanding differs from another artist's understanding. So I've been watching this life from my own perspective. And I've seen that there are a lot of things that have been exposed to the outside world. If you are in Girat, if you are in Bedama, and your privacy, a secret, a secret, a value. So, on psychological grounds, I shouldn't be like looking direct eye contact no muntu because on psychological grounds someone can read your brains just looking straight into your eyes, because on psychological grounds facial expression, eye movement, tonnage of the voice, body posture, you'll be able to predict someone's central nervous system. So I wouldn't love someone to read my central nervous system before I get to read theirs.
Sound like a philosopher. No. What influences your line of thinking?
What influences my line of thinking is what I've passed through.
When you are releasing those videos or before you release them, does a spliff or anything inhalable help you in any way? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and anything that someone hasn't seen me doing, they better take it that I don't do it. If I wanted the people to knew or know that I do it, I can do it in public. So if they haven't seen me doing it, meaning that I don't do it.
But since people are not there to see you doing it, you can at least tell them if you do it. Do you smoke at all? And I mean marijuana.
I don't.
Have you ever?
Why should I?
But mulaboneka kwati mulabaira before you got to release those videos.
Yes, even some pastors' wives at times, the way they dress, they look like prostitutes.
Okay. What dangers come with the kind of commentary that you do? We live in a country sometimes that is not very tolerant, especially from the politicians.
The dangers are this. These are the dangers.
What dangers are those?
The example that I'll give you is you're moving at night and then you meet some thieves. Those thieves are armed. Whether you try to defend yourself by throwing one unako or not, the fact is that those people will kill you. Does it mean that you just kneel down and say, kill me first so that I don't feel the pain, or you have to throw one punch? Maybe you can do something with that punch.
I've watched some of the videos that you release, and the theme is pretty much the same. Some words that don't miss words like amafi meaning feces, amatako meaning buttocks. Others take offense, but it appears at the same time that other people enjoy those kind of words. Why do you throw in amafi, amatako and things like that?
And I believe I wasn't like this some 5-7 years ago, because when you go to a hotel, you do hear that this hotel offers free foods to the people. You go there for the first day, you go humble. I'm coming here to ask for some food. I hear that, oh, you do give free food. And then these other people are getting into the hotel, are getting some food. And then they just stop you. We are not allowing. But these people are getting in. Do you expect me to come tomorrow in a humble state? I will put up with a volume 2 pose. Hello, is there food? Do give us food. And then, get out, get out, get out. The following day, you expect me to come again and, may I have the food, please? No, I'll change the tone. Hello, can't you say that I'm going to die? I will bury you, get the food.
So what is the relationship between what you have just been explaining, amafi and amatako?
Those are just, at times you have to say your heart out. How you feel. Because at times, it doesn't make sense whereby you are humble. Wadina kirira, yet nothing is coming up. They are just appreciating you. Mister, he's a very quiet guy. He's a very quiet guy. But when to reward you, when the time for rewards comes, instead of them rewarding you for being humble, they will say, he's not difficult. Don't pay him. He's humble. He's humble. You've seen. Just the same way, like the setup of our country. We are dying inside, reason being that people think that Christianity is all about being weak, soft, dull, and foolish. But it's not like that. Even Jesus Christ, the time he found those people selling some merchandise in the temple of the Almighty, it's just that maybe it hasn't been explained properly, but Jesus wept those people. So at times, it's not always that you have to be soft. But I don't have the capabilities to like point at, iwe chitaso, iwe chitaso, iwe chitaso. So at times, you have to cry. Because umwana, nga umfo ensala, land, what do? They cry. So as a poor youth, I feel the pain, and you expect me just to keep quiet, dying inside, meaning that a lot of people will be affected. So I have to use this small platform that I have to speak for my fellow youths.
If Kakwiki was a person, Nishini Kings Madembe, Ababutuko kuchira ambulance mwana mayo. Ukubapela 24 hours. Yeah, ukwisamona kwati yako kola sana.
You seem to have taken issue with Kings Malembe apologizing after I was given an ultimatum by the Lusaka province minister. What was your issue with him?
I've got no issues with him.
The apology.
I've got no issue with,
his
apology. His apology was okay. Ukukonka na stance yakwe. But the problem was that he fooled the people in the first place.
How did he do that?
He spoke on behalf of the Zambians. So I met some Zambians and everyone was like, oh, chalanda zona. Imagine, he manages to see the problem. This is what we want. I think these guys are slowly waking up. Does that make sense? So number ifingalengati Kings Malembe, cause after saying what he said, and that was right, and then he apologizes.
But he's entitled to his opinion. Just
yes,
like
listen, I haven't finished.
He can also apologize.
Yeah, interview. I haven't finished. Kings Malembe problem wa ishlepanga yakwe bati alanda sodi kuchalo. Mwaumfwa pafintu ichalo chipundira ati ififintu fiamanu alandire. So the Kings Malembe na ishile pshamunje alande fiamanu na following na kwa tanaba musapota no kuisa alanda tsori. Namboy wine Kings Malembe chinshi chikatukanya wanu denga isa tuwebe shinyi mbotumfwa embeshe akuchechi hakese tuwebati hawe sori satana na afurwa hawe sori satana neshine njimbeshi na shena shabufi. That can happen. History repeats itself. How so stance yakwe, it wasn't firm. In short, ufudo wakwata stance ili firm. Yako but cause ili size apelele. Afuida de understand. Kaida de chitana interact na ma politicians. So fionso fuari land. Abantu bali very vigilant ukula fiumpo. Oh, Alandensh Kings Malembe. Alandensh. Number na 24 hours taida.
Listen, give the man a break. Just like I was entitled to the opinion when he released the video, and he was given the ultimatum, he is also entitled to withdrawing what he said.
Yes. Every human being's opinion counts. But it just depends na time tulipo. If na nachira punda teti wimbi oru wimbo wapa Christmas pa independence. Baka punda tirukari. Nombo yo muntu. Baka mwana kwa tina pepa. Fila mwachira njipshe. Fima fiamba.
Fima fiamba. Umina kuna kana mwachiri ya. Okay, how do people take your social commentary? Your family, Twambo, your son?
Frankly speaking, I don't stay with my son, reason being that I'm still on the battlefield. Not yet married because of the economic crisis that we have here in Zambia. If I marry, meaning that I will double the trouble that I have.
So why have a kid in the first place then?
I was trying to experiment.
And the experiment went wrong, you think?
It went right. I can now chill that, oh, I can produce. I'm a producer, but just waiting for the right production.
When do you think the economic situation will improve in order for you to settle in terms of marriage?
It's up to us, the youths. It's up to us, the youths. The more we keep on singing about it, the more it keeps on getting into their ears. Maybe at one point or the other, that curfews will get back to normal.